Hello, I'm Pastor Jeremy Combs, and we're going to pause for a proverb. Let's go. Proverbs 5:16 and 17 says, "Let thy fountain be dispersed abroad, and rivers of water in the street. Let them be only thine own, and not strangers with thee." The worldly idea of practicing safe sex is unequivocally rejected in these verses. Most of the chapter has been designated to the evil of the strange woman, but starting in verse 15, Solomon begins to give us the reason for abstinence. This reason is for these desires to be fulfilled and enjoyed with, by the way, unlimited pleasure within the boundaries of marriage. The image of fountains represents our desire for sexuality. This sexuality should be contained. The words dispersed abroad means to sever or to contain. Keep it in the home is Solomon's cry here. For once it reaches the streets, it becomes soiled by the world. Now, rivers of waters in the streets, I don't want to be too grotesque here, but it speaks of the sewer that ran in the streets back in those days. You think about it, they didn't have septic systems and so forth, and animals walked in the streets, and so you dumped all of your sewage there in the streets. And so when we take our purity out of the boundaries of marriage, it's kind of like going and taking a drink out of the toilet. Now, maybe your little doggy does that, but no human would do that. It's grotesque and it's unclean. So keep yourself pure. Drink out of your own fountains. This is God's design. Verses 18 and 19 kind of continue this truth. Let thy fountain be blessed, and rejoice with the wife of thy youth. Let her be as the loving hind and the pleasant roe. Let her breast satisfy thee at all times, and be thou ravished always with her love. God created both the idea and the institution of marriage. One man, one woman, till death do them part. Adam was created, and in the garden, when God, not Adam, assessed Adam's situation alone, he said it wasn't good that he should continue that way. Marriage was designed for three reasons, primarily procreation, protection, and also pleasure. Obviously, we understand the need of marriage to produce children and to keep the race of man going. The idea of protection is the reason for these sections of verses. Mankind has normal and, by the way, also natural desires that can be fulfilled by marriage. These verses focus much on the aspect of the pleasure side of things. Notice the terms rejoicing, ravished. It has the idea of being, we would say, intoxicated. But whereas alcohol intoxication leaves one empty and wanting more, marriage promises satisfaction. One more verse, verse number 20. "And why wilt thou, my son, be ravished with the strange woman, and embrace the stranger, the bosom of a stranger?" A man once wrote, the columnist Ann Landers, and said this: 11 years ago, I walked out on my 12-year marriage. This is what I gave up: seeing my daughter grow up, the rejection of the respect of many longtime friends, the enjoyment of living as a family, a wife who was loyal, appreciative, and who tried very hard to make me happy. This is what I got: 2 stepchildren who treat me like dirt, a wife who didn't know how to make anything for dinner but reservations, a wife whose only interest in me was how much money she could get, a wife who disparaged my family and ruined all my existing friendships, and finally, the best thing I got was a bitter and expensive divorce. Tragedy, but it all came with somebody that did not see the wonderful thing that God had given them. Solomon had spent the last several years emphasizing not years, maybe, but the verses especially emphasizing the joy of a committed marriage. Before we sin, here's what happens. You lose your mind, okay? You don't think about consequences. You forget that God is watching. The exchange rate on this is absolutely terrible, no matter how appealing the situation may seem. So don't let the pleasures of sin intoxicate you. Sober up to the reality of sin and its consequences, and you better do it before it's too late. And if you've got a godly spouse, love and enjoy them and let them know it today. Hey, God bless you. We'll see you next time.